A season of gratitude is blooming all over Iowa, from greenhouses bursting with abilities to barbecues celebrating simply standing up.
I'm a lucky guy.
We're leaning in for a hug.
I love you guys.
From the campus mom who can't get over what her students have done.
I feel surrounded with love.
To the runner leaving love letters in every corner of the state.
I try to find that hidden gem.
And we're catching up with the woman who can't say thank you.
People don't do this, but Dale did.
Because she never met the man who gave her a full ride to college. It's a season of gratitude. This is Iowa.
KCCI presents a celebration of the people who make our state special. This is Iowa.
Across our state, Iowans are saying thank you. Thank you to their neighbors, their customers, and even complete strangers. Over the next half hour, we're going to find them in cafeterias, greenhouses, and every community in the state. But sometimes showing gratitude plays out around the grill and picnic table, building new memories when old ones were hard to find. Give plenty of Iowans a grill and a flame, and they'll light it up, toss on some burgers, and dream of that first bite. The grill master on the other side of that smoke is actually more focused on the fact that he can actually stand and grill.
Pretty good. Getting better.
Because a year and a half ago, that hog farmer proudly wearing pork on his shirt could not flip a burger or even speak. He'd been riding on his motorcycle.
Filled up with gas and got something to drink and headed west, and that's the last thing I remember.
He was just east of Roland.
A deer come out of the north ditch and schmucked me. I didn't hit the deer hit me, I think, but I don't remember any of it. So then I got a helicopter ride to Des Moines from there.
Greg Carlson's traumatic brain injury after he flipped over that windshield and landed on the highway had everyone worried.
I'm just going by what I hear from my wife because I don't remember any of it. She said the first 7 to 10 days I was very, very, very critical.
So bad that even when he strung 2 words together several days later, his eyes stayed closed. For 31 days, he didn't leave his hospital bed. He doesn't remember anything that first month. So his bones healed.
Nice.
They loaded up the hog farmer for an ambulance ride to the brain injury experts at On With Life in Ankeny.
Physically, he still needed a lot of help with everyday task.
Therapists say that's what they typically see in people who've had brain injuries. But on just his second day there, they told Greg to stand up.
Right foot. Now big left. Good.
And for some reason, it worked.
Here's big steps.
So did Greg's memory.
How fast he went from not remembering anything to walking and then to quickly ditching the cane.
In just a few weeks, they were testing his balance while tossing him tennis balls.
Every day then he kept progressing.
So they took the farmer out back, past their pig statue, to the ag therapy area for a lesson in walking on uneven surfaces.
He's trying to make me cry. It's not going to work.
Climbing on livestock gates like he used to back on the farm.
You're what? You're a pig.
And even getting himself up into a tractor, which was hard.
Because your balance is screwed up. Traumatic brain injury. And then being off my feet for 31 days.
The point, just like the facility's name, was to get Greg on with life.
Just like relearning how to ride a bicycle. You got to do it again, which I did that too.
But to make sure Greg was ready for everyday mental tasks,
so it's $48.
They asked him to make a shopping list and then prove he could do it.
Hey, let's go to the grocery store. If you grilled at home and did pork burgers for your family, let's do it here.
So we got to the Fairway store here in Ankeny, and she gave me a $20 bill and said, you got to go buy this and make sure that $20 bill will be enough.
Just a few weeks after he stood up from his hospital bed for the first time in a month, he was doing math in the grocery store aisle.
Traumatic brain injuries cause cognitive problems. So they were testing me, see if I could remember what you have to cook.
And then, as his final test, he stood on his own and grilled the product he'd raised all his life for his therapists, focusing on the only explanation he could come up with for his incredible 4-week turnaround.
God's miracles.
So now, 18 months later, with gratitude overflowing,
yep. I'm a lucky guy.
Greg decided to take his thank you up a notch.
You get 3? Whoa!
The Hamilton County hog farmer asked his friends at the pork producers to fire up their biggest grill so he could flip enough burgers to thank everyone in the building.
It's a cool moment for sure.
Between batches,
See, it's not as wobbly as it was.
Greg climbed back on that balance ball,
It's not as bad as it was.
That's true.
showed off how he can now tackle stairs without problem.
Good.
And that fence out back is his daily reminder on the farm of how far he's come.
I think of that when I'm crawling over fences.
But when he saw wheelchairs rolling into the lunchroom and others overcoming brain injuries stand up like he did to walk toward the pork lunch waiting for them,
Well, there's brownies in there if you want.
it sank in, just like it did for Greg's therapists.
You know, working here long enough that there's some that don't turn out that way. So those really special ones, they hold a special place in your heart.
As people, like Greg, that keeps me coming to work and keeps me motivated to get them better and get them on with their life.
Because recovery is uncertain and every journey is different. But when it ends with so much success, you can say thank you while encouraging others.
At least you still got that arm that works, right?
It's just plain sweet. The face of kindness at Drake University
Thank you.
needed some help too. And after 15 years of giving hugs, why the woman everyone on campus loves needed a hug herself. And from a sprint through Spirit Lake
You just never know what you're going to find.
to pounding the pavement in Parnell,
Yes, I can look at the Google Maps and I can see, okay, they have a church.
an Iowa man is striding through your small town and showing us why this is Iowa.
A Drake University dining hall cashier is discovering just how much her student customers love her. Meet Marietta Jackson and hear the story behind her infectious smile.
Thank you, Brian. How are you, buddy? Doing all right. You know you're loved.
When was the last time a lunch lady greeted you by name?
Hi, Anthony. You know you're going to be on TV. How are you? Good. How are you?
Marietta Jackson is no ordinary lunch lady. For 15 years, she's been a powerful light that brightens the Drake University Hubble Dining Hall.
Hi there.
Hi, Marietta.
How are you?
Doing well.
Good.
And she makes everybody that passes by her cashier station feel right at home.
She's an amazing woman. She's always so kind. She takes care of us, and she always makes you feel special.
They love me. I love them too. They know I'm the mom away from home.
She knows everybody's name. She lights up your day, makes you feel welcomed. You would never guess she's going through what she's going through.
What she is going through might wipe that smile away, but not Jackson.
I have ovarian cancer, which has not been pleasant at all.
Jackson has been on and off the job and in the hospital dealing with scary health issues.
I love you so much. I was sad. I was frightened, scared. It's not good news to hear. Nobody wants to hear you have cancer. See, I like to get all the syrup off the table because I'm getting ready to serve lunch.
Jackson learned of her diagnosis in January. She started chemotherapy in February.
The chemo makes you tired, not feel good. But I would rather be here looking at those smiling faces than to be at home. It brightens my day.
Doctors are discussing possible surgery and more chemo, but they say Jackson has a special way to help heal her illness. Her attitude and her faith.
Well, God woke me up this morning, and if I can get through this day, maybe He'll give me another day.
Eventually, Drake basketball player Maggie Bear opened up a GoFundMe account for her. It raised more than double the original $15,000 goal for medical expenses.
I feel surrounded with love.
And that love is mutual.
To have that level of warmth and comfort and joy come out of this one little body is something that I feel like everybody looks forward to. I know I look forward to it.
Jackson says she's trying to work as much as she can through her diagnosis, and she asked us to let her send a message.
I feel their prayers, and I am truly blessed. Thank you so much. I don't even know how to say thank you. Thank you.
A special person surrounded by her special students in the lunchroom.
Can I have a hug?
Yes.
Oh, I love you guys. Love you too.
Jackson clearly appreciates all the love and support she's getting here at the Drake Dining Hall, and she says she will need that love as her cancer treatments continue over the next couple of months.
You think you know Iowa?
I've been to 1,116 cities.
Tyler's got you beat. His sprint to experience every corner of our state, and the gift he's giving back to each one.
Take this in the dirt, take it out the paint.
And we're catching up with old friends to see new blooms beyond the greenhouse.
It's really neat to see how she has grown over the years.
And how a carpenter's life-changing generosity keeps growing. We're checking back in with some of our favorites. This is Iowa.
Iowa's small towns dot the rural landscape, bringing bustling beauty to the farm fields that surround them. You've probably visited a few of them, maybe hundreds or even thousands. What about all of them? Let us introduce you to one Iowan that you might soon see coming by your own house. Words connect us.
They left the town as fast as they could and always tried to stay 1 foot ahead of the laws.
To the world that surrounds us.
Try to find that hidden gem.
Each word feels like a connected step to the pavement. Tyler Sullivan draws up a running route similar to how he writes a poem.
It's mostly the outsides of town.
Feeling each word, each step in each town, with no starting line, no starting gun, just a tap of the watch. And he's off, a 7-mile spring morning journey in Perry.
You just never know what you're going to find. Yes, I can look at the Google Maps and I can see, okay, they have a church, they have this, but just open your eyes. You never know what you're going to find.
Never knew that he'd be pounding the pavement in Perry.
We're going to take this little alley on the break.
Never knew what he'd find logging miles in Manning or weaving through the streets of Webster.
I love it. You know, I love just supporting like every community. I don't really have one favorite one.
Hard to find a favorite when you've logged miles in more towns that are actually recognized in Iowa.
I've been to 1,116 cities.
Sullivan estimates the state has a little more than 1,200 towns, some as small as Adaza. The Greene County unincorporated town, not much bigger than its welcome sign.
I see like a small town and I go over there and see if it has a welcome sign, because if it has a welcome sign, then I count it.
He runs an area 5Ks, visits countless museums, explores the history, and meets the people of Iowa, posting all of his findings on Facebook for his 11,000 followers to see.
I take pictures of the historical museum, the churches in town, the high schools, and anything else I find along the way. I feel like those people who can't go to these communities, you know, for some reason, you know, like my page gives them a light. I give them hope that, you know, that there is goodness in the world.
The runs aren't just for Facebook posts and photos for fans. To run in each Iowa town, Sullivan, of course, has to run in each Iowa county. And for each of the 99, Sullivan pens a poem to remember his visit.
Shining the kaleidoscope into the light, rotating in a circular motion, bouncing from one color to the next. Reds to blues, back to reds. Oh, look, green, my favorite color.
Dallas County's poem about the shootout between Bonnie and Clyde's Barrow Gang and police in Dexfield Park, just north of Dexter.
Someone found them, and it ended deadly. Some of the gang members were shot and killed.
Now etched in just a stone memory, part of history happened here.
You may want to know more about Bonnie and Clyde. What a remarkable story in itself.
As Sullivan logs more miles in Dallas County and across the state, he hopes his journey inspires Iowans to explore more.
You know, we all have a smartphone these days. We all should check out to see what's special because you grew up here. And from there, just visit more of your county. Every county has something special, and you don't have to go far.
His run ends about the same way as it begins. No cheering section and no finish line.
Come on. 300 meters.
On this day, a rainy lap does the trick. Because here, the journey is the goal, just like the words that connect us to a poem. Sullivan plans to publish his poems in different books for different areas of the state. The first, Northwest Iowa, should be published pretty soon. He's visited 93 of 99 Iowa counties, more than 1,100 towns. He expects to hit his final Iowa town in 2025.
Remember the Iowa carpenter who paid the full college bill for 33 Iowa students? Kira sure does.
People don't do this, but Dale did.
We're catching back up with some of our favorites, the next chapters in the lives of characters we've met over the last decade. This is Iowa. I've met thousands of Iowans telling these This is Iowa stories over the last 10 years, and some of those stories keep getting better after they air. Like back in 2015, when we took you to the greenhouse. In greenhouses across Iowa.
And 4 of these, please.
You'll find potential in every pot.
Well, we have a lot of vegetable plants that you can plant in the garden.
Colorful blossoms ready to grow.
Snapdragon.
Just like the green thumb we first met in 2015, who acted like she runs the place, because she does.
I am a boss.
Marissa Schletzbaum's only 2 employees
My mom and dad.
are her parents, who planted the seeds for this years ago.
Sometimes it's hard to figure out with somebody like Marissa what is the best.
When she was in high school, they noticed she loved getting her fingers dirty and spreading smiles. So her dad retired early, her mom did the homework, and together they invested in a dream.
So you just try and do the best for all of your kids so they can grow and develop.
Marissa's Straw Hat Farms in Pleasantville grew.
Water.
Which is incredible, given her abilities in 3rd grade.
They were working on counting to 100 with her, and she had trouble with 15. Couldn't get past 15.
Problem solved.
$33.46.
46.
Once customers kept her specially designed iPad cash register humming.
I'd say you're pretty good at this job, because a lot of people tell me that.
With customers picking up more than just petunias, they also get a lesson in abilities.
The more they're exposed to it, the more they get it, the more she's exposed to it, the more she gets it.
Now, Marissa has 8 more years of spring experience.
Yeah, I like this job.
And her responsibilities
Take this in the dirt, pick it up the paint.
have grown too.
Put the flowers in the pot.
Marissa's greenhouse now supplies farmers markets and restaurants with vegetables from her new hoop building out back. And by April,
Marissa is very good and meticulous about mixing the growing medium.
She's mixing, transplanting, and watering.
I do like watering usually because we water stuff.
She knows exactly what to do.
But the last decades helped her grow outside the greenhouse too. She was named Big 12 Special Olympic Athlete of the Year.
85,000 people in Texas Stadium are giving her a standing ovation. You just soak it in. But in the greenhouse, it's that way every day. And that's what makes it worthwhile.
Because Marissa's parents know this wasn't always possible.
Back in the day when I was a kid, there were no opportunities for kids with disabilities.
Now, those opportunities keep growing.
It's just a good thing.
Just like the boss. And then there's the This is Iowa story that went global after we first shared it in 2019. It turns out one man's massive generosity just keeps on spreading. In high school, Kira Connard was stuck. The Winterset native had the grades to be a therapist, but not the tuition money.
I grew up in a single parent household, and I had 3 older sisters, so paying for all 4 of us was never an option.
So at her high school graduation party, she was preparing to break the news. College wasn't possible.
Almost made me feel powerless. Like I want to do this. I have this goal, but I can't get there just because of the financial part.
But that's when her phone rang.
And I broke down into tears immediately.
The man on the other end dropped the name Dale Schroeder.
He was very quiet. Dale was shy.
This man Kira had never met, grew up poor, never married, and worked as a carpenter for 67 years at the same Des Moines business.
He was that kind of a blue-collar, lunch pail kind of guy. Went to work every day, worked really hard, was frugal, like a lot of Iowans.
And 10 years before Kira's dilemma, had walked into his lawyer's office.
Said, I never got the opportunity to go to college, and so I'd like to help kids go to college.
Then came the jaw dropper.
Finally, I kind of was curious. I said, how much are we talking about, Dale? And he said, oh, just shy of $3 million, and I nearly fell out of my chair.
When Dale died in 2005, the guy who owned 2 pair of jeans
He had church jeans and work jeans.
left behind a rusty Chevy truck and instructions to send small-town Iowa kids to college.
He wanted to help kids that were like him, that probably wouldn't have an opportunity to go to college but for his gift.
Kids like Kira.
For a man that would never meet me to give me basically a full ride to college, that's incredible. That doesn't happen.
But for 14 years,
Long time no see.
it has.
Good to see you.
We're in Pelican. I'm traveling to Boston every week now.
Dale Schroeder's obituary says he died having no descendants.
Slept the whole way here.
But the 33 Iowans who gathered around his lunchbox when the money finally ran out disagreed. They call themselves Dale's kids.
Dale would be extremely proud.
The man they never met changed the course of every life in the room. But they found out there was a string attached.
All we ask is that you pay it forward. You can't pay it back because Dale's gone, but you can remember him and you can emulate him.
Exactly what Kira has done since we first shared her story.
Since I was 12 years old, I knew I wanted to be a mental health therapist.
Diplomas now hang on the wall of her West Des Moines office, above kids' fidget toys and Kleenex boxes.
My clients have faced a lot of hardships, but the cool part is their resiliency. It's their determination, their motivation, their tenacity, their soul.
8 years after she was convinced her dream would never come true, she is living it, helping Iowans get through their darkest days.
This is where I get to pass on the torch, right?
And Kira still wonders.
How would Dale feel knowing that we are living this dream, that we took what he gave and we're running with it and we're trying to make as much change as possible.
You're kind of living his dream.
Yes, yeah. That has not fallen short on me. Yes, I am living his dream.
Because a carpenter Kira never met gave it all away.
People don't do this, but Dale did.
From full rides to college to incredible therapeutic recoveries, Iowans have a lot to be thankful for, and the love keeps flowing in this season of gratitude. This is Iowa. I'm Eric Hansen.